Hey guys, it's Mike coming back with another video. Hope everybody's doing great, staying safe, and enjoying the little bit of baseball we got. Um, just wanted to show off a couple things. I got a really nice piece in from the last Heritage auction, a really rare piece. I thought it deserved to be talked about a little bit. Plus, Sean sent me a care package. Some bench cards and Star Trek goodies, so I appreciate that, Sean. I was going to show that off too. First thing I want to show though is the uh, piece I got from Heritage. It's a true rarity. I've been collecting Hank for a long time. Been friends with Brian for a long time, as most of you know, and getting to know Sean. And all three of us are Greenberg collectors. Brian going back probably farther than me. But I've been collecting Hank for a good 10 years or more now. And most, I'm getting down to the nitty gritty of completing a master set. I'm trying to get one example of all his issues from his rookie year on up, even through modern. Um, of course, not the one of ones, but just an example of every card that's come out that's been issued. And if it's a serial numbered card, I try to get the lowest number I can at least, if I don't do a small rainbow of some sort. But to the card at hand, it's a 1939 Goudey Premium. It's the R303-A, not to be confused with the R303-B, which is a much more common card. Um, I've had these for a while now. I'll go ahead and show these off. This is a 1939 Goudey. It's a premium, which means people exchange probably wrappers. You buy candy, Goudey candy products, gum products, whatever they sold, and you exchange wrapper or the wrappers you bought it in. If you send so many in, they send you a baseball player. Don't know if you got to choose one, or if they sent them at random, or if they did it at the store, if it was through the mail. I've seen conflicting information on that kind of stuff, where they did both sometimes. The 1939 303B is a larger card, and it comes in a sepia version. If I can get the camera there. And that's the back. It's going to be a little different from the one you're going to see here in a minute. And they also did a black and white version. And this is the R303B black and white. Beautiful cards, kind of large, like maybe 5x8, something like that. So there's two variations. I've had those for a while. A year or two ago, I guess it was now, a PSA registry set guy on Hank sold out. His name was Mr. Lambert, and he gave me first crack at some of his PSA Hank collection. He retired his registry sets at PSA, and I picked up maybe 5 or 6 of his cards that he had for Hank, either being something I didn't have or an upgrade. Like I said, I've been collecting probably almost 10 years for Hank, and the R303B that I showed you kind of pop up. The A version, which is a little smaller with a slightly different back, is much rarer. I'd never seen one for sale until he offered me that one a year or so ago. In the 10 years or so I've been collecting Hank, and it is really, I mean, it's I jumped at the opportunity, even though I paid good money for it. And this is the one I got. And I've had, of course, I sent it off to SGC and had it changed over. But this is the R303-A. Oh, come on. This is in a 2.5, which I think is what the PSA graded it. Just to give you a difference in size idea. That's the difference in size of the two cards. And they look very much the same. The R303-A has more of a brown sepia, whereas the B has more of a red sepia color to it. So, very happy to get that back in the day. And I looked at the population report. The PSA's only graded of the A 4 of them. I think it's a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. I checked SGC with their new pop report, and they've graded 3 of them. I think it was an authentic, a 1, and a 2.5. Well, this is the 2.5 that I sent in about a year or so ago. So at the time, this was the highest graded one on SGC of the 3 they had. All right, now getting back to the Heritage auction that just ended. This one was listed as correctly as an R303-A. However, and I hope it'll show up on here, the label, SGC mislabeled this one as an R303-B sepia tone one. So it was mislabeled by SGC, and this one's graded a 6, an 80 by their old numbering system, and that's a super high grade. In fact, by the numbers I just quoted you, this is the highest graded one of the 7 cards that have been graded by PSA and SGC. This is the highest graded one, a 6. Heritage knew that they had labeled. It was mislabeled from SGC, and they put it in correctly as an R303-A. However, they didn't put it like in the description. SGC has mislabeled the card. So I think it went for a reasonable amount of money, and I think it's because, at least some portion of it was because people looked at the card, they have those nice high quality images, and they saw the label said an R303-B, and they look enough alike if you don't pay attention to the back or the size of it. And I'll show you the back too. The backs are a little different. And if you didn't pay attention to the back, you would think maybe, oh, they just mislabeled the auction piece as an A, was actually a B, is what SGC's got on the label. So I think they kept the price down and was able for me to get a good deal on it. So now I have the highest graded version of it, and I got to get that switched over by SGC. And right now I'm in the middle of, I've got a 20-day order out on them that's over 3 months now, going on 13 weeks on 60-some business days now. So I'm not too thrilled with SGC right now. So I might it'll be a while before I send them anything else to slab. So I'll just have to hold on to this for a while until maybe even the National next year if I get to go and get it switched over in person, because I'm just kind of fed up with them for a variety of reasons. So I still love them. It's a company I've used for years. But it's just been one headache after another with them. But I love those cards. That's just a super piece for the collection. There's only 7 graded, and I've got 2 of them right now. So we'll see what happens to one of them. I'm sure there's a couple people that I might have mentioned earlier that may be interested in these pieces. We'll see if I can find a home for one of them. I'm sure one of them will want to buy one of those. The other thing I got was a care package from Sean. He sent me I've been dabbling with some Star Trek autographs and cards, and he sent me a slew of Star Trek cards, which Sean will open those some point probably this weekend or early next week. And thank you so much. And he sent me a big stack of Johnny cards. And I'll go through all those. I know the top one I didn't have. I haven't bought any museum collection this year. But some really, really nice singles. I'm sure I can use a handful of these just flipping through them. Don't have that, I know. I don't think I have the Diamond Kings or these Perennial All-Stars. So Sean, thank you so much for that. That's going to be fun to see which ones I do need. You always seem to find a couple cards I don't have, or actually more like a handful. So thank you very much for those. One other thing I want to mention about that R303-A is that this is an American issue, but they also sent that card off to Canada later on as another variation, where they actually clipped the card. They actually, to fit into their Canadian packs of cards that they sold up there, they took all the excess of these that didn't sell, and they actually cut the cards near the bottom here to make them smaller. They literally just took this issue that was left over, cut them into a smaller card so they'd fit into their packs up there that they sold, is what I read. And Brian actually has one of those, though the grading companies won't slab it because they say, well, there's no way to tell if it's a real one or not, because all you'd have to do is crack this out and cut this card and then say it was that card. But I think it's kind of crazy because it's the same card, it's the same exact card. It's an R303-A, but they actually cut it just to fit in packs. And they gave it a different classification because that was sold in Canada. And Brian's card, it has some Canadian writing. Someone wrote on the back in French. And so there's probably no doubt that's a real one, but apparently PSA and SGC won't slab the card just because it's could be altered to form that card off one of these. So I know he's been fighting with them. I don't know how far he's got with them. I haven't heard any updates about them. But I thought you all might want to see a nice Rarity. I know that set has the rookie of Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, Brian's other favorite, Bob Feller's in that set. And let's see here. You got Jimmy Fox. There's a whole lot of big names in it. I think it's a bigger set than actually this set is. I think the A has 40-something cards, and the B has about 20-something, 24, 28. So if you see those, you should grab them. They're just really cool, very, very rare, and just something unique. Maybe I'd like to, one day I might go through the Hank stuff and just show the sets they're out of and focus not as much on Hank, but as much as the sets and what you can get out of these old sets. If you like vintage, I know there's a lot of people that do the tobacco cards from the 1910s, 12, whatever it is, and then there's people that start with 52 tops and go up. But there's a lot of stuff in between from the 20s and 30s and 40s that doesn't get as much attention, I think, as some of those. You hear, the Goudey products, 33 and 34, and that kind of stuff. But a lot of this kind of stuff you don't hear too much about. And it's got some big names in it, so maybe we'll do that one day too. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And Sean, thanks again for all the goodies. Appreciate it. Y'all, thanks a lot. You all take care, and I'll talk to you, Lord willing, later.